Alright, couple quick adjustments, and yeah, good to go.
Okay.
Oh, also, will you look at the camera when you answer the questions?
Sweet. All right.
Awesome, thanks.
And you have this like chair that spins, so just be
Yeah.
careful about.
Like, I'm a fidgeter.
No, every time I film Laura Foley, it's in one of these chairs.
Yeah,
And every
she's
video
like-
that she has, I have to like watch
Yeah.
it back and be like, oh no, we have to do it again.
And not to
What
repeat.
should I do with my hands?
You can talk
you-
with
do-
them. I think
Okay.
Yeah.
you're cut off about here, so
Yeah.
if you do something
All right.
here, we won't see it. If you get really
He
big.
could give you a stress ball. You could squeeze
Okay.
instead.
Yeah, I mean, if you want
Actually,
to.
and not to be picky, can you put your chair back up?
Oh,
I just
yeah.
lowered it. Sorry. There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more likely to spin if my legs are on the ground.
Oh, okay.
But that's... They're still on the ground, so...
Yeah. Just. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So if you just want to start off, say your name, your major, things you're involved in on campus, and then just kind of briefly describe your study abroad experiences.
Yeah, so my name's Kirk Smith. I'm a senior mechanical engineering student. I'm one of the captains of the cross country and track teams here on campus.
One sec. Sorry. Two things. First off, do you think you can speak a little louder?
Yeah.
And also, and I'm not sure if we can do this. Can we turn off the thing?
Yeah, I was just wondering, don't actually use this now.
Cool.
That's already off.
There's a red
I was just light.
in here.
Oh yeah, that's probably like blows up the entire line.
Yeah, I need to like red switch out of point.
Yeah. It might be like always on. Because I actually like stay away from here.
Mm.
This is where the chemist grad students go.
We just shut it.
Oh, that's it. Oh yeah, could we do that?
Like it looks like you could.
Yeah, I'll just put this cord in here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like we don't blow something up
No,
by
it's
just like trying to get the sound on the video.
I really hope that's a crock pot in there, because that'd be hilarious.
This?
What is it?
An expensive crock pot. Actually, it's a centrifuge. So, like,
Cool.
there's a crock pot that spins.
Awesome. I have one of those at home. It's called a salad spinner.
I don't know if that made any difference.
No, I didn't really make it any quieter. Everything's off. Yeah, I think it's like made to not turn off.
Okay.
Because that's like a flow
Yeah.
alarm. So you can see when I like open it past here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it should be fine. Maybe if you just project a bit more. And yeah, that would be great.
Cool. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I mean, we could also go right here.
Yeah, I think you just like make sure it's not loud.
Yeah. And it's not that bad. I was just curious.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Good.
So wait, is where?
Yeah. So name, major, things you're involved in on campus, and then briefly describe your study abroad experiences.
Yep. All right. Good. Cool. My name is Kirk Smith. I'm a senior mechanical engineering student here at Tulsa. I'm a captain of the cross country team and track teams here, and I'm also involved with SENEA, which is sustainable engineering for needy and emerging areas. Through the Global Scholars Program, I've been able to study abroad twice, which is unusual for an athlete. Both times were in the summer after my freshman year. I went to Berlin and Budapest for a 3-week summer course. And just this past summer, before my senior year, I was involved with the DAD RISE internship program, where I did an internship at a German university for 10 weeks.
Great. Stop swinging.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
here, I'll
no worries.
try to be good too. And can you talk a little bit about the Rhodes Scholarship or honor? I don't know what you call that, but if you want to talk about
Yes.
that a little bit.
So this past fall, I was awarded the Rhodes Scholarship, which is awarded for 2 to 3 years of graduate study at the University of Oxford. I'm planning to go there next fall to study redox flow batteries and earn a doctorate in their engineering science department.
Awesome. So what first motivated you to go abroad, whether it was a person or an experience or just always been in your mind?
Really, it popped into my head for the first time with the Global Scholars Program because as an engineer, you're somewhat limited compared to other majors in your course choice, and as an athlete, it's not. It's very unusual as an athlete to study abroad, especially as a track and cross country athlete, because we're 3 seasoned athletes. So the only time to do it is in the summer. Fortunately, I was able to apply and be admitted to Tulsa's Global Scholars Program, which supports study abroad during the summer, and I was able to make that work with my running schedule. And I wanted a program that could allow me to explore global issues with the very limited course slots that I had open to do so. So that kind of let me cover more stuff in a smaller amount of time.
Great. And so what were your initial thoughts about studying abroad once you were there, whether in Berlin, Budapest, or once you got to Germany for the research?
So studying abroad at TU was actually the first time I'd ever left the country, and it was the first time I'd been obviously in a country with a different language, and I had no German experience prior to either experience. So that was the most shocking thing on the ground, but I quickly realized that Germans know English almost better than we do, so it was a non-issue. But just being immersed in a different language and culture, especially coming from the Midwest where people are friendly and smile at you on the street, and there's just different very small cultural things that are very apparent on the surface once you touch down.
Yeah, they elected a Nazi almost a century ago. We just elected one.
There's a lot of Trump. You get that on tape? We had when that came up in conversation, I was like, "You said it, not me.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing."
Yeah, when I was in Prague, one of my coworkers wrote a book about Trump becoming president before he was president. And so, I mean, people, like, when in my office in Prague, everyone would always, like, ask about the election. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
We're still in a group text, so they get a lot of crap.
Okay. So, how do you think that your experiences abroad shaped your view of yourself and your view of the world?
I'm trying to think of not give like a rambling.
Yeah, and you don't have to give like a this completely changed my life. You know, it can be simple.
I think my study abroad's experience, while the research experience was great, there was some good work done in the lab. I learned some technical stuff. The real takeaway from it was the connections I formed with all my German friends. They really brought me into their life, and it wasn't the major tourist attractions that I visited either that really made an impression on me. It's when I went to their hometowns and got to see the small little places they grew up in, and talking through translation to some of the relatives that couldn't speak English. Those were the experiences that really shaped the whole deal for me, I think. Yeah, I don't.
No, that's great. Yeah. And how do you think that your experiences abroad shaped your future or your career path?
So my whole career path and future kind of changed on one day last fall when I found out that I was awarded the Rhodes Scholarship, and I think that the study abroad experience was a key factor in that decision. The Rhodes selection process is a little different than what some people might think. After candidates are selected for interviews, it all essentially comes down to a couple events on the weekend and one 20-25 minute interview. And I drew heavily on my foreign study abroad experiences in that interview. So I do think that played a role. And moving forward, I'm very open. Once I realize that I can survive by myself in a different country where they speak a different language for the most part, convinced me that I can do that again, and so I'm very open to working in different countries in the future as a result.
So this is a related question. How do you think you've been able to draw on your experiences in interviews or planning for the future?
Yeah, so I think that this experience was unique in a sense that I was the only American at this university, as far as I could tell. My last name is Smith, and when they got me my username, it was just Smith. And it was a campus of about 5,000 students, which has never happened to me before. So I think that as kind of the sole representative of sort of my culture, especially with the political season as it was in the summer of 2016, I was really able to hold my own and form meaningful connections that I still maintain on a daily basis now. And I think in interviews I kind of draw on that and the fact that I was able to integrate into their work culture so quickly. I think that is an asset that I try to sell in interviews.
Perfect. And how have you been able to draw on your experiences since returning to campus, either in your social life or in your major, what be it?
Yeah, the major thing that I've drawn from this is in political debate with friends and family, and I now have a whole new perspective on a lot of issues, coming from the Germans who are so in touch with their history, and I think that's probably the most noticeable thing for me on a daily life now is I always try to view it through their lens as best I can, and I remember just some late night discussions that really left an impact on me.
That's a great point. I'm just trying to view. I feel like a lot of people don't view like the politics that are happening now in the scope of the world. Like they just see it as like this bubble of like what affects Oklahoma.
Yeah, and
It's not
that's the
like
thing
that.
about Europe is that we drive for 2 hours and we're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is a great town, but you drive for a couple hours and you're in Prague and they speak a completely different language,
Completely
different history, and
Yeah.
they're all
It's really cool.
so immersed in it, and
Yeah. You have to know the other
because the
countries'
war
history.
happened there, and there was a day when behind my apartment complex, they shut down one of the roads because they found a bomb dropped by one of the allies that hadn't gone off, and that happens on a weekly basis over there. And it's like, oh yeah, the war that happened, that was right here. So they're super, and there's concentration camps everywhere that you can go visit, and so there's so much more in touch with their history, both the good and the bad. And I think that allows them to make more nuanced decisions in their government. That's my takeaway from that, because it's a different.
Their history is definitely like more part of their life.
Yeah,
than I feel
because
like it is
because
here.
it happened there, and so their connection to events from the 20th century is a lot more like native for them.
Okay. Got off track there, sorry. But
I'm just using that part.
yeah,
The
it is
best
good.
history.
It's good. Yeah.
Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can use it for a history project. So how do you think that your international experience has really added to your overall TU experience?
I think that. How do I say it without sounding like? I don't know, like what, like.
Watch out, yeah, here.
Sorry. Well, I'm trying to. I'm not
Yeah.
like this is not going
Okay.
in right now. What should I say that I haven't like touched on?
So this question is like more from kind of like an admissions standpoint,
Mhm.
like, so if we're like trying to, how I'm like seeing it as
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like doing these interviews, is this question is kind of more towards like students who are thinking about coming to TU, and like a lot of 9 of the top 10 seniors studied abroad, so obviously that's been like a really important part of a successful, you might say, TU experience, and like about 20% of TU students do study abroad, so it's like a big part, and it's very possible here. TU is like just makes it a lot more possible than a lot of universities do to study abroad, so that's kind of what we're trying to sell, you might say, is like these two things go together. Like a study abroad experience should be part of your like fraternity experience, your essay experience, you know, things like that, if that helps.
Yeah. So I think my study abroad experience at Tulsa really rounded out the whole package. I've been heavily involved with athletics here and some engineering groups, and while I'm on campus, I'm working in the machine shop. I'm doing undergraduate research. but I didn't get as much of a chance to really fully explore different cultures. And I think that study abroad experience, like,
Don't worry, we can edit.
That's literally why I was hired.
I totally like forgot that you sent a list of questions, and then Kyla told me, and I was like, oh, shoot, I probably should have
No, it's
thought.
fine. I mean, like, Kyla she didn't even probably need to look at the list beforehand because she's like a UA, so she's got all these answers. And then some people have like
I'm not
written out, and so it's
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like an improver when it comes to like things like this. So
By the way, you have cool shoes.
Thanks. Should get them on camera. I actually wore these for my interview.
Are they lucky?
Lucky.
Yeah, so
lucky
I'm keeping them.
shoes.
I don't know what I should. I don't know
You
what
don't have
so hard.
like anything that
Because I don't think I can like say anything that I didn't really already say
Yeah, no.
before. I mean, CG worked with me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and like CG is great, but I don't know if that's like
No worries.
fits.
I'm cutting everything else without CG.
CG's
Thank you.
Just like put that on loop.
Yeah.
Okay, that's alright. We can move on.
All right, we can come back to that if I like.
Okay. I have 2 more questions. So, who most encouraged you to go abroad? You named Dr. Botanikar as an influential person, so if it was him or your family or Dr. Foley with Global Scholars.
So definitely Dr. Foley for leading the Global Scholars Program, because I can definitely say I wouldn't have gone abroad if it wasn't for Global Scholars, because as an athlete, it's just you have to go a bit out of your way to do so, because it has to happen in the summer as well. I didn't need any classes to be filled in the summertime, so I wanted to make sure it was a work experience, which again limits the opportunities. But CGE and Global Scholar worked with me because it was a requirement as a Global Scholar to study abroad, so that kind of forced me to look at those opportunities harder. As well, Ms. Nona Charleston here on campus was the one that told me about the DAD RISE program, which I applied for with support of professors here and letters from them. I was lucky enough to get accepted into the program. And so it was definitely the Global Scholars Program combined with Dr. Foley and Ms. Charleston and my professors here that pushed me towards that. And without that, I don't think I would have had the initiative to pursue that opportunity.
You have more people mention Nona. Yes.
She's literally like, I wouldn't have applied for
Yeah,
the
she's like
roads.
the single
I didn't know really.
force for.
Don't get on camera.
No.
But she did tell me, she was like, just apply for it. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna get it. And she's like, apply for it. It's like a month before other grad school apps.
Yeah.
So like, you'll have your personal statement done, and
I feel like that's always the things that end up being so momentous is the ones that are like, this is never gonna happen.
yeah, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I
When I
still
got
don't
my
understand
internship,
why it
yeah.
happened, but I'm rolling with it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. Okay, and then what advice do you have for first year students who are thinking about studying abroad? Maybe specifically athletes or mechanical engineers?